Hello, welcome back. This is module number 7, third part in the series on questioning skills. We've talked a lot about our components, first on how to listen actively, using the reflective technique, and we've mentioned questioning a lot in all of those. Now the question is how to question. We're going to look at some tips and some skills during this module. So first, the benefits of questioning: it enables you to foster this commitment, right? The speaker sees that you're paying attention to them and you're committed to actively engage in this conversation of sorts. You focus your attention. Right? And this also encourages exploration. Not only that, but you learn to elicit new ideas. Right? So you can get commitment, attention, more details, exploration, and new ideas. These are all things that questioning helps you to do. So today we're going to look at 7 kinds of questions. Right? You thought there was just one question and it ended with a question mark. No, there's different ones we can ask: open, close, probing, paraphrasing, hypothetical, leading, and reflective. So let's get into the different details about each one of those. First, we have your open question. So these open questions are commonly used to encourage the other party to open up. They can say and whatever, like multiple words to answer the question. It's not yes or no, right? They are the 5 W and how words, right? Who, what, when, where, how, why, which, etc. Right? And then this helps you gather the information that you need to know. Closed questions, on the other hand, they're the yes/no questions. These questions, don't use them too much, because sometimes they can make a conversation feel awkward and very one-sided. Like, tell me, is it a yes or a no? Right? And in some instances, an affirmative or negative answer is all that you need, so that's okay. But in positive situations, it's just best to avoid them, because it might kind of harm the rapport and even empathy that is an essential part of active listening. So try to use more open questions and not so much yes/no questions. Well, let's get on to the third part: probing questions. So when you probe something, you're looking into it more, right? You are in a science class and you're doing a dissection of a frog. You're going to probe into there and see, oh, look, there's the heart. Probe, probe, probe. Oh, there's some intestines. Probe, probe, probe. You're looking for details in these probing questions. So if something's been said, you want to find out more about it to clarify. So these are actually really good kinds of questions, because they help build that rapport between the two of you or the group of you, but be careful not to use them too much, or it'll sound like an interview or interrogation, or like, whoa, calm down, stop asking me all these questions, right? So that can get in a bit of awkward situation. So it's best to vary your sentence types, right? Change them. Now, one of the best ways to clarify your understanding is by paraphrasing, saying something in your own words. Okay, this is very important. So the speaker says, I can't deliver on that unless accounts get the information to me on the very same day. And the listener's like, So I'm hearing you say that you could deliver if the accounts department were able to get you this information on the same day as you requested it. Yeah? Am I understanding this correctly, or is it something different? This is very good, and there's no confusion there's no kind of negative response. It shows that you're interested in what the person's actually having to say. And then they can clarify and be like, no, that's not what I meant. Okay. Or they can be, yeah, that's exactly. Good job. They pay so much good attention. I love these guys. Right. Hypothetical question. A hypothetical question or any sort of statement is something that doesn't exist. It's not real, but you can pretend a situation, something like that. So you can think, so imagine that unicorns and fairies and all the Disney princesses and all the characters from Harry Potter were real. That's a hypothetical statement. Which one would you prefer to be and why? So a question is getting someone to think about how they might act in a possible situation. It can be very possible, a real situation, or impossible, like the Harry Potter fairies thing, right? But these are very effective in getting the person to think up, discuss new ideas or approaches of a problem, right? So if we do this, what about if this happens? Then what are we going to do? Right? So that hypothetical questions are always good. Another type, leading questions. These questions, they are useful in situations where you require a desired answer or you need to influence a person's way of thinking. But you need to be careful. By leading questions, we mean you are leading. You are the one that's actually giving the input, but in a way that's not sounding like you're so much leading. Like you could say, for example, so wouldn't it have been better to do this instead of that? Or don't you think that past week, don't you think we should have done this, maybe not that. Right? But you have to use these with care because they kind of assume there's only one right answer. And this is basically the opposite of what listening is, right? You're not supposed to be the one leading. You're supposed to be the one just actively listening to what the other person has to say. So be careful with that. Our last type, reflective questions. We talked all about reflection in the techniques in the last part of this module. These are frequently used to check and clarify, make sure you understand. So this style, it basically reflects back to the speaker what they just said, and then it lets them fully explore their knowledge of a situation, right? So for example, if the speaker says, those people in dispatch, they're always messing about, right? And you're like, okay, let's get a little bit more congruent here, make sure we're on the same page. So you can say, what is that messing about behavior involve? What are they doing that's not quite right? And then they will clarify more specifically the actions that these people in dispatch are doing instead of just talking about it vaguely, so you know how you should react, right? These questions, they also provide an opportunity for the other person to give voice to emotions that they might have felt at that particular time without you actually having to interpret why this happened in your question, right? Because you have the details now, and then you understand, oh, now I get why he feels that way, and you understand what he's trying to communicate in a better way. So basically, it just helps you judge that person and interpret them in a more effective way, which is what we want, right? Clear communication. In summary, whenever you ask a question about how or where you're trying to take the speaker, if this question that you ask, if it does not result in a positive step forward, then you should maybe ask yourself some simple questions. Did I ask it the wrong way? Could the words I used have been misinterpreted? Was this an appropriate question? Right, so give yourself some self-reflection here, these answers to these things, and this will help enable you to develop your questioning skills better and also to change your behavior for the future. But yeah, this is all practice stuff, and you can practice it in your daily life all the time, right? How do you get to this store? Oh, well, you go left, turn right, and go up across the street. Okay, so you're saying that you go left, then right, then you cross at that street, or is it this street? Right? Clarification. You can use it in any situation in your life. So this is our third part, and I welcome you to join in the last part of this module on active listening and questioning skills, where we talk about the barriers. Okay? Have a good day, evening, week, whatever you're having. Have it good. And I'll see you in the next one.